y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I am Sharon if you are new here. So today we are going to be reviewing Love Island USA episode 12? No, 13. So let's just jump right in.
Back up on my bullshit, back up on the scene. Done dealing with you, don't know how to deal with me. Done fucking with you, don't know how to love me.
I am drinking on a protein shake because I just came back from the gym and I'm about to go to work. So grab yourself something to drink and let's dive in. So the episode opens up with Zeta talking and she just saying that she want to know what's up with her and Timmy before she like goes full ahead with Jeff. And I can understand that. And then she talks to Jeff and basically tells him the same thing. And he like, you know, figure out what you want to do what you want to do. Which I feel like they should have did that in the first place. Like for me, I don't know. If I was on this show coming into a situation, I wouldn't necessarily want to like try to snatch somebody away from a situation where like everybody can see that they have something deep. And you can see it too because you got to watch the show prior to. Like, I wouldn't necessarily want to get myself wrapped up in that. Like, I ain't got time. So Sydney and Isaiah get to go to the hideaway. Everybody chose them without hesitation. That was very exciting for them. They finally get to get it in. That hideaway was lit, okay? Like, it was giving vibes. It was giving energy. It was giving it all, okay? So then Timmy and Zeta talk. Like I said, I just love them and their vibes together. But they have a conversation. I'm sorry, they have a chat. For me, I appreciate Zeta wearing her heart on her sleeve and being honest and stuff. But I feel like I wanted Timmy to say a little bit more. Like I wanted Timmy to express his feelings a little bit more because I feel like she was the one throwing it all out there. So as they were talking, Bria is kind of sort of getting antsy and she getting upset, and then Jeff is telling her to chill, but then he kind of encourages her to go over there and interrupt their conversation. And while like she was talking to Jeff, she said like, you had your time, it's my time now. And it's like, but taking it back to when Zeta and Timmy were like really engulfed in each other is when you came in. So surely at the point in which you came into the fold, she was feeling like this is my time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like now you're feeling like she's intruding on your time with him, but it's like she also feels like you intruded on her time with him. So I don't know, like, yes, they are in a couple right now, but she was just seeming very, like, entitled and, like, that's my man kind of thing, to the point that, like, again, she even went over there and interrupted their conversation. And I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know how I feel about her doing that. Because, again, they had something that you knew about before you even came into the fold. So I don't know. But she comes over because she can't take it no more. And it's like, again, Bria is feeling all of these feelings and all of this angst and all of this, like, whatever she's feeling because they're having a conversation. So it's like, imagine how Zeta feels. That was originally her couple, like her guy. And then you came into the fold. So it's like, I don't know. Like, the way that she was acting was like, this my man, this my man. Obviously she didn't say that, but like that's the energy that she was giving off. And it's like, but initially it was her man. So I feel like, you know, but what I will say is that they obviously share that feeling of feeling like I had him, then you came along and, you know, basically snatched him away from me. And then she feeling like, well, I'm with him now and you kind of coming along and snatching him back. But it's like, he was kind of sort of initially and originally hers. So I don't know. But when Bria comes over, she asks Timmy, you know, basically like what's going on and all of that stuff. And then he tells her that basically, like, he can't shake the way he feels for Zeta. He feels stronger for Zeta. And she was like, so that's where you want to go? And then he said yes. And I was just like, dang, that was very awkward. And I'm sure it was very uncomfortable. Even though after the fact, when Zeta said, you know, I'm sorry, I know that was hard, he was like, nah, it wasn't hard. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was hard. It's always hard to reject somebody to their face after you kind of sort of made it seem like you were open to like being with them. So yeah, like, I know that was very hard for him to do, but I'm glad that he did it. So now Zeta and Timmy are back on track, and I love that for them. Hopefully they could keep moving forward together, locked in, because like I said, at some point I get on the show, you got to get to know people, but I also feel like at some point you have to lock it down. And then Bria cries. Now, I have not always like checked for Bria since she came into the fold, because again, I feel like I was seeing Zeta and Timmy and she was coming in to disrupt that. But watching her cry, because I am a sensitive Cancer, it kind of made me feel very sad. You never want to see anybody feeling heartbroken to the point where like they are bawling, like, you know. So that was pretty sad to watch her just cry and then feel rejected and all of that stuff. It was very sad to watch her just cry. And then Chaz came over to comfort her and all of that stuff, and she just expressed why she was crying, which is completely understandable. It was just really sad. I never want to see a woman like down and out and crying, especially over like a guy rejecting her. So then Zeta and Jeff talk again, and she basically let him know that like her and Timmy are locked in again. And he says like, you know, cool, like do your thing. He just wanted to know like where she stood. And then Timmy and Chaz talk, and I appreciate the respect, but I feel like when Chaz was like, just know, like, ain't no going back, like the door is closed, it's like, that's not really for you to say. I feel like that's for Bria to say, because if Bria decides that she wanted to like start to pursue him again, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really say, you need to tell Bria that and then tell him that. But he was being, you know, a big little bro, and we appreciate it. Then Bria tell Timmy to sleep outside. She said, you gotta sleep outside, sir. You can't sleep in the bed with me. Oh my gosh, that literally that cracked me up. And he was like, outside? And it's like, yeah, outside. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. But then Zeta joins him outside, and I thought that was really cute and sweet. And it kind of looked like they was doing some things. Like, I don't know, it kind of looked like they was doing some things. I know Isaiah and Sydney definitely was doing some things in their like hideaway, but it looked like Zeta and Timmy was doing some things outside. So it's the next day, and then they talk about last night, and Isaiah don't want to tell if he boned or not, but we know. And then Sydney and the girls talk. And what I loved most was when Zeta and Bria talked. I loved that they cleared the air, and I loved that Zeta was just telling her, like, you know, I'm still here for you. Like, that was really sweet to watch. I just wish that, like, again, like I said, maybe coming into the fold where you see, like, there are, like, it's a strong couple, I wouldn't go after that person, because I don't want to deal with that. Like, I don't want to deal with the potential of you going back to that person. Even if you do kick it with me for a little bit, you going back to my, I don't want to deal with that. So then Deb and Jesse go on their date, and I was just kind of like, when Deb and Jesse were talking about like intimacy and PDA and all of that stuff, and he explained his reasons why it's hard for him to like show PDA, I was confused, because he said that when he picked Serenity over Deb, that she was looking so sexy and her lips looked so good, and he just wanted to kiss her, and that's why he chose her. So it was like, that says to me that you know how to go after and get the affection that you want when you want it. So I don't know, but that was his truth that he spoke, and we just have to accept that. And then they kiss, and he kisses her like he was kissing his mother. Like, I was just kind of like, what is this? Chaz and Serenity talk, and he is just basically like, what's going on? Like, I'm sensing something from you. And then she was saying, like, in her confessional or whatever it's called, that like she feels like something is missing. And I imagine that like when you don't really just like somebody just all in all, that's probably what it feels like. And then when you're trying to force yourself to like them, then I feel like you will kind of feel like, something just not there, like the feeling is just not there. And it's because like you just don't like the person like that. You don't really click with the person like that, but you kind of sort of trying to force yourself to. And I feel like that might be the situation with them. I wish that she did genuinely like him, because he seems like he is nice and sweet and kind and generous and attentive and all of that stuff that any woman would love. But it's like, I guess when it's not coming from the right person or the person that you want it to come from, it don't really hit the same. So, you know, we can't force her to like him. I don't think Serenity really liked Chaz too much, and that sucks. Also, Bria and Chaz talk, and not Bria and Chaz, Bria and Jeff, and he basically says that he's interested in her, and then she says that they had that initial spark, but maybe the opportunity never presented itself. And I'm like, no, the opportunity presented itself. When he came in, he said he was interested in you and he was interested in Zeta, but I feel like because Bria was so locked in on Timmy that he kind of felt like, okay, well, let me just go for Zeta. Not let me just go for Zeta, because I know he really was gunning for Zeta, but like, if they both were open to getting to know him, I feel like he would have given Bria more attention. But Bria was so dead set on Timmy, which again, I feel like obviously Jeff wasn't there when Bria came in, but I feel like when you come into a situation and you know somebody got a deep connection with somebody already, maybe like keep your options open. Like you could express your interest in that person, but keep your options open. And even when Jeff came in, Bria was talking to Timmy, and she was like, well, yeah, he kind of is my type, but ain't nothing there. I'm not going for him, and so on and so forth. Like, she kind of shut it down off the rip. And I, for one, was wishing that she didn't tell Timmy that, because it's like, let's not forget he has another connection in the house, and you're basically telling him you're all in with him, which is just like too soon. But then again, you're shutting off the thing with you and Jeff. So it wasn't that the opportunity didn't present itself. You were closed to the idea because you were so dead set on Timmy. But I guess they're going to lock it in now and pursue each other. And then Maddie and Andy talk, and when she said we should kiss, it was just like, that was so like forced. And then Timmy and Zeta get to vibing some more. Like, I just really love their connection. I feel like they did some things. I don't know. I feel like they did some things, but I love their vibe. I love like how they interact with each other. Like, you could feel the between them and stuff. Like, you could feel the chemistry. Like I said, like their connection is so like undeniably magnetic. So I like to see them like vibing out together. So the host shows up and she gives the top 5 couples and says that the bottom 2 are at risk for being dumped from the island today. Whoa. So the top 5 couples were Isaiah and Sydney, Zeta and Jeff, Courtney and Bryce, Deb and Jesse, and Chaz and Serenity. And the bottom 2 were Timmy and Bria, and Andy and Maddie. And I feel like, oh, how the tables turned. Zeta was in the bottom because Timmy expressed interest in Bria and they recoupled together. And now Timmy is in the bottom because, again, it's just all his fault. It's all his fault. He in the bottom because it's his fault. Because nobody want to see him with Bria because we love him with Zeta. So it's all his fault. It just goes back to being his fault. The bottom 2, Andy and Maddie got to go. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. They have to go. They have to go because Timmy cannot go. So Andy and Maddie have to go. I'm sorry. So that was the episode. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this episode. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you aren't subscribed. And I will catch you in the next video for episode 14. Yes. Bye.